Yoga for the Athlete with me, with Laura. A little bit out of my comfort zone here, so you're going to have to bear with me. I was requested, just with the current situation and having to cancel classes, and people really actually probably needing something like yoga to keep them a little bit balanced and grounded. So I decided to put a few little shorts together. So basically, rather than running it as a 1 hour block class the way I'd usually teach it, or 1 hour 15, I'm going to just break it into little chunks. So this is just a little intro to what I'm going to be doing. It is yoga for the athlete, but anyone can benefit. Okay, so the yoga poses that I use are traditional yoga poses that are used in many styles of yoga. Why this is called Yoga for the Athletes, well, the class that I've been teaching has been kind of focused at different poses very specific to different sports, kind of looking at different injuries that my athletes experience, and hopefully looking at different postures that will help them both avoid those injuries and work through them through rehabilitative poses. A lot of it is maintenance yoga. A big thing with my Yoga for Athletes, as opposed to some of the other styles that I choose to teach, is that we work very much within the natural range of motion. So we're not kind of looking at doing anything too crazy. There'll be no handstands, there'll be no throwing your leg over your shoulder, there'll be no hyperextension, no hyperflexion. So it's all working within that kind of natural range. Now, for a lot of athletes, myself included, that's my disclaimer now, I think I've probably been a lot longer as an athlete than I have had as being a yogi, or very much so a yoga teacher. So we do come to the mat often with a lot of underlying niggles, very contracted and tight muscles and weakened muscles, so stuff that we've kind of developed over time unbeknownst to ourselves. So why I like to teach the athletes is that you're not in competition on the mat, okay? You're just accepting how your body is in that moment. You're working with that. If you get a little bit beyond that range that you have already, all the better. So it just kind of sets you up for if you do fall when you're out running on the trails, or you go for a slide tackle and it goes horribly wrong, or you're out on the bike and you don't clip out in time, or whatever it is that you do, so that your body's kind of experienced a little bit outside that comfort zone, but we're not trying to push you into any kind of contorted positions. And not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just the particular style that I'm teaching at the moment is more so within that range. We will not just be working on flexibility, it'll be a lot of mobility, strong controlled movement, slow. And slow means that you're really having to engage in the muscle and that range of that particular muscle or that muscle group. Also strengthening. Okay, so what a lot of us as athletes experience is a tightness into the front of the body, because a lot of our movements are in that sagittal plane. So whether it's cycling, whether it's running, whether it's swimming, unless we're doing a lovely backstroke. So most of our sports really, and there are some sports obviously we go into our twists and rotations, and that's something that we'll be working through too, but because of this constant forward movement, we tend to tighten very much into the front of the body. So we get this kind of roll into the chest, tightening the chest muscles, weakening the back muscles. We get these really tight hips, we're weakening the tummy muscles, weakening the back muscles, and so they're gone into that kind of hyper stretching mode. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're not just going to work on the flexibility, but we're going to be working on stability, particularly in the core or the trunk area, and then flexibility with that and openness, kind of developing that space within the upper body as well, that will help hopefully allow us access a little bit more of our lung capacity, of the breath that we can get into those muscles to hopefully get oxygen flowing around them and allow us perform to our best and also recover to our best. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to try not to talk so much, that's why I got the intro out of the way. Those of you who've come to my classes know I do tend to waffle on a little bit, so feel free to just blank out and just follow the poses. I do like to talk a lot about what muscles you're engaging, what you should be feeling, and what not, and what this is good for, what it's not so good for. There'll be little variations within the poses too if you're suffering from particularly tight areas. So I'm going to break it down into, I want to call them starters, main course and dessert. So starters are just going to be kind of warm up, very gentle, kind of opening into the body. Our main course will kind of have a focus, be it hip openers, stabilizers, maybe it'll be a chest opening sequence, whatnot. And then our dessert will just be slowing it all down and maybe getting a little bit deeper, maybe getting into a little bit more restorative yoga. So it's your choice whether you just want to do one of each at any time. They'll all be about, I'm going to say 15 minutes long, but we'll see how it goes. You can always combine, so you can have your starter, your main course and your dessert, or maybe just your starter and your dessert. If you're going straight to dessert, I would recommend, particularly if it's any of the deeper poses, that your body is warmed up, whether it's through yoga or through something else, so we're not just putting our muscles into these deep poses without them being ready. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to start into a few little short sessions for you, so you can hopefully do this in the comfort of your home, play it back as much as you need. I kind of went with this format as opposed to the live, just so that you could access it whenever, so depending on how it suits you in your time of day, or if you've got kids or work things going on. A lot of stuff is online at the moment as well, so find a time, a nice quiet time for you. And please, with all this crazy that's going on in the world at the moment, use this time, even if it is just 15-20 minutes, to totally switch off. So just you and the mat, close the door, maybe even put a little sign saying please do not disturb. Whatever you need to do, just allow people to know that this is just your little time for you, looking after yourself, your body, your mind, your soul, and hopefully this will benefit you in the long run. Okay.